Distinguished visitors and special guests, welcome to our Patriot Day Ceremony, hosted by the Commanding General of the United States Army Cadet Command and Fort Knox, Major General Johnny K. Davis. We are delighted to have with us the 100th Army Band under the direction of Chief Warrant Officer II, Brooke Woods. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the National Anthem and the invocation given today by Chaplain Major Dave Chapman.
Father, on this morning, we gather to remember all those who lost their lives in the towering Twin Towers of Manhattan, in a peaceful field in Pennsylvania, and within the pristine marble gray walls of the Pentagon on September 11, 2001, 21 years ago tomorrow. We will not forget this dark period of our history and the men and women who gave of themselves for our country. We remember the many first responders, military personnel, and volunteers who gave their lives for love of neighbor and nation on that day and those afterward. Thank you, Almighty God, for strengthening our faith and resolve to continue in our national character, not knowing what the future held in store for us, but you have been faithful every step. Please assuage the grief of those who remember the loss of their loved ones on this date. May we be willing servants of your compassion in the healing of their hearts. We thank you for your favor upon our nation and trust that your favor will continue. To you be the glory even now. Amen.
Good morning, Major General Davis, Chief Dowdy, distinguished guests, community leaders, my fellow veterans, my first responder teammates, and the honorable citizens of the Fort Knox, Radcliffe, and Elizabethtown communities. Thank you for being here on this hallowed ground of resting heroes who have served our nations in times of war and peace. And now, to honor the memory of our 2,996 fellow citizens, first responders, and veterans who lost their lives 21 years ago on a day which will always be remembered as 9/11. I want to thank everyone who is directly participating in today's ceremony: the 100th Army Band, HRC Honor Guard, 19 engineers, Radcliffe Fire and Police Departments, USAC and Fort Knox Garrison Planning Committees, and others who were part of the coordination and execution of this special event. Thank you for every ounce you put into rehearsing, executing every task with precision, and the love you have invested in making this a special day of remembrance. I want to thank Director Juan Renard, Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Army retired, and his talented team in preparation of the grounds for today's ceremony. But most importantly, the continuous care that they put in this cemetery every day. The love and work they put into the ground show how much they have invested themselves in honoring the legacy of our veterans and family members who lay at rest here. And I would tell you, they put in a lot of hard work to make the grounds look good. Okay, they're just great Americans. So as we and Americans across this nation solemnly honor the legacy of our fallen brothers and sisters over this weekend, let us build on their memories by reflecting on the past, accounting for our actions in the present, and forging ahead into the future with a renewed commitment of service to our nations, our communities, and our families. May God continue to bless our fallen brothers and sister spirits, and the family members they left behind, and for him to give us the resolve and strength to ensure that their legacy will always be honored by generations of Americans to come. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the Commanding General of the United States Army Cadet Command in Fort Knox, Major General Johnny K. Davis.
I want to thank Commissioner Allen. I'd like to welcome all of our distinguished guests, and please forgive me if I missed. I think I captured a few of them. Of course, my Ranger buddy, Command Sergeant Major Jeremiah Gann, and Autumn. It's good to see you. I see Ed Merrigan. It's good seeing you, 84th Training Command. His Command Sergeant Major Scott Hinton. It's good seeing you as well. I got John Cushing, his lovely wife Marla. Thanks for taking the time to be here. We have Command Sergeant Major Anthony McAdoo and Bevan. There you go. I see it. It's his son. Of course, one of my favorite Command Sergeant Majors in the United States Army, Command Sergeant Major David Bass and his lovely wife Misty. When I was a battalion commander, Command Sergeant Major Bass was my first Ops Sergeant Major. So it's so many years ago, and it's great to see you and your lovely family. Colonel Lindsey Halter, the Reserve Aviation Command. We have, of course, the 100th Army Band, Executive Services Division, Religious Services Office, Fire Department, Department of Emergency Services, Public Affairs, and Visual Information Services. Of course, our Human Resources Command Honor Guard, Army Reserve Aviation Command, 19th Engineers, Radcliffe, Meade County, and Rineyville Fire Departments. Let's all give them a round of applause. Oh, I forgot. I see my the wonderful garrison commander, this Command Sergeant Major OB Sergeant Major Foley. Sorry, I had to make sure I kissed the ring there too as well. I'm so humbled to stand here before you at such an important occasion, honoring the memories of the souls we lost on September 11, 2001. And so I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time this morning to be here. We're here to remember the nearly 3,000 Americans who lost their lives over 21 years ago. It was the single largest loss of life resulting from a foreign attack on American soil and the greatest loss of emergency responders on a single day in American history. Patriot Day is a day of national awareness and solemn reverence. A day for us to honor and pay tribute to all the patriots and their families who sacrificed their lives in defense of freedom. Like you, I still remember the morning of September 11, 2001, and I know each of us has a story, and I'll share those. But for me, I still remember that morning. I was a young company, second-time company commander, stationed at Fort Myer, Virginia, commanding Delta Company, the Old Guard. We just executed a full honor funeral when the plane struck the Pentagon, and we still remember that morning because it was just unbelievable how everything was unfolding. They locked Arlington National Cemetery down. We put our uniforms up, our dress uniforms. We placed our BDUs on, and within about 4 hours, we were down at the site, and we're down there protecting and then transitioning to recovery operations. No soldier has ever been trained to do that. And we did that for 3 weeks, and then we resumed. I still am in contact with the soldiers in my company that day. Over 20 years later, we still talk about that day that brought us all together at the Pentagon. I'd like to share some other stories from our Fort Knox family. There are other members here who also have their story, and I wanted to highlight them. We have Mr. Tim Blair. So Tim was in the E-ring of the Pentagon, working for OSD. I think Tim is at HRC right now. His mission changed at 9:38 to one of survival, rescue, and support. So after a 5-second call to his wife and mom saying, "I'm alive but can't talk," he ran after a Marine 3-star, simply said, "Follow me," and sprinted to the impact site. We got Mr. Mark Camarina. He's also part of our family here at Fort Knox. Mark was serving at Fort Leavenworth and was tasked on September 10th to escort the Army G1, then Lieutenant General Tim Maud. Following a long day, he told Lieutenant General Maud he had arranged a room at Custer House so he can spend the night, but Lieutenant General Maud the G1 of the Army at the time, saying he had an early morning meeting at the Pentagon. The next morning, Tim was walking into CGSC when the dean told him to grab a TV and meet him in Brigadier General Huntoon's office. As they plugged the TV in, the second plane hit. And as you all know, Lieutenant General Maud was the highest ranking officer to die in the attacks, and HRC is named for him. Mark keeps his coin in his desk as a reminder of that day. We got Miss Kay Haushashik. Kay was a platoon sergeant in an MP detachment. Now she works over at U.S. Army Recruiting Command. But then she was a soldier, leading soldiers. She was in the company day room with the MPs on duty and watched on live TV when the second plane hit Tower 2 and quietly realized that we would soon be at war. I also want to share the story of one of our own spouses that lives right here on Fort Knox, Miss Maury Landis, spouse of Major General Mark Landis, 1st Army East Commanding General. She was living off post at Fort Leavenworth when her husband attended CGSC. Their oldest son just turned 1. A friend had called and told her to turn on the TV. Her son was captivated by the scenes of destruction. She stood there wondering what this meant for her husband and their family. In the aftermath, she was overwhelmed by the sense of unity and patriotism shown both locally and at the national level. The individuals killed in New York City, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and the Pentagon will never be forgotten. Because of them, the Army continues to remain vigilant and ready to meet any future challenge. America's Army is the strength of the nation, and its men and women in uniform continue to epitomize resiliency, competence, and commitment to our great nation. Despite the strain of years of combat, our Army remains strong because of the commitment and resolve of our soldiers, civilians, and family members. Our Army keeps the faith of the American people by maintaining readiness and being ready to help, whether it's tornadoes, floods, fire, drought, hurricanes. We stand ready to act if our nation is also threatened or attacked. The Army continues to build on its long history of success and leadership to confront and defeat the diverse threats to our nations. Our soldiers' varying ideals, beliefs, and backgrounds help make the Army the respected, powerful organization it is today. That's what keeps us all together. That's what makes our nation strong. Patriot Day joins our historic observances that bind our nation together. Our Army culture, history, profession, and values draw upon our shared national experience to increase our readiness. So as you take the time to reflect today, I want to leave you with one closing thought. And I will tell you, each and every one of you, again, we are so strong when we're unified. And that's why I love my service to our nation. That's why I love serving you, each and every one of you. You are the very best. Thank you for your service and support. We are strong because of you, everyone here. Patriot Day is a time to remember those who lost their lives on 9/11, to honor their memories, and to pay tribute to all the patriots and their families who have sacrificed in defense of freedom. God bless our Army. God bless America. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
When observing an honor guard during the folding of the flag, you may notice how the meticulous process results in the flag being folded 13 times. You may have thought this symbolized the original 13 colonies. However, each step has a separate and very distinct meaning. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold represents the 50 states of the United States of America. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veterans departing our ranks, who gave a portion of their lives for the defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents loyalty. These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in the crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Thomas Paine. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country. For the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all her enemies, whether they be found within or without the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to selfless service. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. John Fitzgerald Kennedy. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, their love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great has been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to the Father, for he too has given his sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold is inscribed on the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. The 12th fold represents equality. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The 13th and final fold, or when the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our nation's motto, "In God we trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones. who were followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today.
Ladies and gentlemen, striking of the 4 5s. The sound of a bell holds special significance for firefighters. Historically, the toll of a bell summoned members to the station, signaled the beginning of a shift, notified departments of call for help, and indicated when a call was completed and the unit has returned to the station. Fire departments also sounded a series of bells when a firefighter died in the line of duty to alert all members that a comrade had made the ultimate sacrifice. One of the most meaningful series of bells is commonly called the striking of the 4 5s. The fire service is rich with ceremony, custom, and tradition. The custom of giving final honors has its origins in New York City's fire department, where many years ago, long before the advent of radios, pagers, or mobile phones, fire alarms and daily announcements were dispatched from central headquarters to outlying firehouses by a system of bell commands and telegraph. Each different type of alarm or announcement would have its own number and series of bell strikes. When a firefighter died in the line of duty, or when some important official or person died, headquarters would transmit 5 bell strikes, repeated in 4 series, with a slight pause between each series, followed by the announcement. This can be traced back to 1865, when New York City Fire Department informed firefighters of the death of President Abraham Lincoln. This custom continued to present day. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise as we strike the 4 5s. First, for those that lost their lives at the World Trade Center. For those that lost their lives at the Pentagon. For all those on Flight 93. For all the responders lost on that day and the thousands since. The signal of the 4 5s has been transmitted and received. It is with great regret that we announce the deaths of the faithful servants who we gather here today to memorialize. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 8:46. Please stand for a moment of silence and remain standing for the laying of the wreath, the 21-gun salute, and the playing of taps. Would Major General Davis, Assistant Fire Chief John McDonald, and the Deputy Chief of Police Jerry LaPlace please come forward for the laying of the wreath. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The 100th Army Band will now perform God Bless America. We invite you to sing along.